live.
Back when The Terminator was released, Arnold Schwarzenegger was rocketed to action superstardom. But it wasn't exactly a role that demanded good acting. Arnie's unnatural physique and voice were ideal for playing a non-human. As a result, Arnie often ended up in roles that he simply wasn't suited to physically, such as the supposed everyday guy in Total Recall. But the success of Terminator wasn't solely down to Arnie. The script and direction were excellent, and Jim Cameron reaped the benefits too. But the big overlooked factor was the hero character, Kyle Reese, which was both very well written and intensely acted by Michael Biehn.
The Terminator's an infiltration unit. Part man, part machine. Underneath it's a hyperalloy combat chassis. Microprocessor controlled, fully armored, very tough. But outside it's living human tissue.
Although overshadowed by the literally hard as steel Terminator, Kyle Reese himself is a formidable tough guy. He single-handedly takes on the near-invincible cyborg in one of the best action scenes ever filmed, the club shootout. And he fends off several cop cars in a high-speed chase. His fearlessness comes in part from his determination to both save humanity and win the heart of Sarah Connor. Failure isn't an option. In combat, Reese is fast and efficient, and if he seems a little superhuman, it's because he comes from a totally different time and place than the comparatively safe and pampered Los Angeles of the 1980s.
You must have had a fun childhood.
Note his lack of answer. Our world is alien to Reese, but once he's on the streets he doesn't waste his time gaping in awe at the civilized world. He just goes straight into get the job done mode. He very quickly familiarizes himself with his surroundings, making immediate use of whatever resources and geographical terrain he comes across. Within 15 minutes of his time travel arrival, he has clothes, a shotgun, and Sarah Connor's address. And once behind the wheel, his driving skills come to the fore, obviously honed in a future environment completely lacking in traffic lights or the threat of parking tickets. As a shotgun merchant, he is second to none, even firing one-handed from a pretty awkward position in a fast-moving car. But simply being a cool motherfucker with a shotgun or a steering wheel isn't enough to get you onto my list of best screen heroes. So what else has he got going on? Well, for one thing, Reese in his lifelong war against the machines has inevitably taken on certain traits of his enemy. This is initially used as a smokescreen plot device. In the first half hour of the film, his actions in many ways mirror those of the Terminator, during which we don't even yet know that he's the good guy. We know this guy is just plain bad, and though we haven't actually seen him kill anyone yet, we see Reese gearing up as if he's about to go on a kill rampage too. Until he starts blasting the Terminator through windows, he just seems like a crazy stalker, complete with Dirty Mac. And he shows an element of impersonal, robotic and single-minded brutality by using an innocent bystander as a human shield. And after his identity is revealed, Reese continues to show robotic traits, such as his high pain resistance. Sarah Connor bites him and draws blood, and although he objects, he isn't exactly fazed by it.
Cyborgs don't feel pain. I do. Don't do that again.
You mean you got shot?
It's not bad.
Well, we gotta get you to a doctor.
That's okay, forget it. Pain can be controlled. You're just disconnected.
So you feel nothing?
He doesn't even seem to be interested in eating. Sarah thinks he's buying food, but he's buying bomb-making equipment.
What's for dinner?
Plastique.
That sounds good. What is it?
Nitroglycerin basic. It's a bit more stable. I learned to make it when I was a kid.
And he doesn't even seem to sleep. Reese has been dehumanized by war, which is quite a contrast with his confessed love for Sarah Connor. And although his confession implies him to be a virgin, he doesn't appear to have any problem in the sack. A nice twist on a conventional movie hero trait. And for once, this is a movie in which the love story element of the hero character actually works thematically, whereas in other action movies it often seems forced. I've always wondered whether perhaps Reese knows he is John Connor's father. Does he have a deep down awareness that he is on a suicide mission and is destined to die? Surely after spending the night with Sarah the thought must have crossed his mind. But either way, Reese ends up in an eternal time loop. Chronologically he dies before he is born, and so he will grow up in the machine war again, fall in love with Sarah just from seeing her photograph again, then volunteer to go back and rescue her again. And this will go on for all eternity. Reese's shotgun blasting of the Terminator was cool enough that Schwarzenegger himself imitated it in one of his follow-up films, Commando. Arnie originally wanted to play Kyle Reese, and supposedly he opted for the Terminator role instead, though I strongly suspect it was a face-saving claim because director Jim Cameron wisely cast Michael Biehn in the role instead. Eventually Arnie sort of got his way in 1991 when he reprised the Terminator role in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, but this time the robot was to protect the character. Scenes from the first movie were replayed so that Arnie could basically take on the Kyle Reese role.
Come with me if you want to live.
And although the film was great in terms of action scenes, the absence of the Reese character was one of the major elements that prevented it from being as good a movie as the original. Frankly, it's a role Arnie always wanted, but was never able to live up to despite his megastar status. Michael Biehn's intense portrayal of Reese should have shot him to A-list stardom. He basically explains the entire plot verbally, but at no point does it seem forced or unnatural, and the role required a range of both strong and sensitive acting that few film stars are able to deliver, much less so within a single role. It was Biehn who carried the Terminator film in the acting department, delivering one of the best no-nonsense screen tough guys of all time. He did have some great supporting roles in other Jim Cameron films, Aliens and The Abyss, and as Ringo in Tombstone, and although he was adept at playing both heroes and villains, his potential was never fully realised, partially down to choosing the wrong film projects and partially just because of bad luck. He played the lead in a Billy Friedkin movie called Rampage, which was pretty good, but the film never got a proper release. And he was very creepy in a made-for-TV miniseries in which he played a psychopathic medical student who torments and tries to kill his wife. But despite never achieving superstardom, his performance of the Kyle Reese character will always stand out as one of the great movie hero performances. Thanks for watching.